Welcome to the Evident Proof demo. My name is Matt Roden. I'm the CTO of Evident. Live demos run on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. and Thursdays at 4 p.m. London time. So what is Evident Proof? Evident Proof is a platform to store immutable proof of evidence. So what does that actually mean? Well, the data world economy is now said to be larger than the oil world economy, and as a result of that, a huge amount of data is being stored with enterprises and corporations in traditional databases in a way that cannot be immutably verified. So this data could be transactions, it could be events, it could be physical assets, and the proof of that data can be generated on Evident Proof's platform. So essentially, transactional data or event data or asset data is submitted to our platform via a RESTful API. We then store that data in an immutable way that can't be changed or hacked or deleted. And we can then generate on request for that organization, enterprise, or individual a proof certificate later down the line that proves that the data that they sent to us was stored at that time in the format that they said it was, and that the data matches what they claim it was. So it's an incredibly powerful platform. So I'm just going to take you through a very short demo. We try and keep them under 10 minutes. It's really just to give you a flavor of the platform, give you an idea of how it works. And then if you have any specific questions, feel free just to contact myself or any of the Evident Proof team on Telegram, and we'll be happy to either answer your question or have a call with more of a deep dive. So good. This is the Evident Proof dashboard. Essentially, we refer to proof of evidence within the Evident Proof platform as proof seals. So it is a seal of your data that we store. We store this data on the Ethereum public blockchain, but also our private blockchain. And I found some information about. And you can see here that we have a wallet balance. So tokenization is an incredibly powerful thing within our platform. Again, if you have any particular questions on tokenization, please feel free to contact one of the team. And we have an amount of seal credits. Seal credits is effectively how many proof seals you can store on the platform with your current balance. So then if we go down through, you can see how many proof seals have been stored previously, how many proof certificates have been generated, how many proof seal bundles there are. Now, a proof seal bundle is a bundle of seals relating to one thing, be it a physical asset or an event. So many proof points can be submitted per thing, if you like. Okay, so to get started using the platform, you get an account on Evident Proof, and then you can go and generate an API key. Once you have your API key and you've studied the API documentation, you're able to start writing code against the platform immediately to store your line of business data. What we've set up here is we have a real client, one of many on the platform, who is one of the largest suppliers to the UK local authorities of taxi licensing solutions. They use Evident Proof to store proof that the checks and balances around issuing a taxi license were indeed completed in the right way. Why is this so important? Well, I think probably let's go back 3 months now, something like that. There was an article in The Guardian in the UK that said last year 150,000 taxi licenses were issued to drivers with criminal convictions, with drink driving bans, people that had their driving license revoked, you name it, they had it. And this would not have happened if proof of the checks and balances was stored in an immutable way. So let's dive in. So essentially what we've done is we have this client, obviously, that they have a large line of business solution that we can't necessarily demonstrate live, but what we have done is created a trimmed down representation of their workflow. So we have the ability within this bit of software to create a taxi license, and you'll see it's in a fairly simple way, and then see that that data is sent programmatically to the evident proof platform, and further that is then stored in an immutable way, and then we can then see a proof certificate being generated. Okay, so let's go and create a taxi license in our taxi license solution. License holder name. Okay, so let's say Tom Blogs. Okay, and we'll say the license is active, criminal record check performed. Now, of course, in this trimmed down version, this is a checkbox. In the real line of business application, a criminal record check is a complex procedure which has multiple points of evidence. Any type of evidence can be stored on our platform. So whether it's a document, transactional data, evidence of an API call, etc. So driving license number, again, in the real platform, this will be a upload of a scan of a driving license or similar. Identity check, again, this would be evidence, and we're going to say they have no driving offences, so we're going to grant them a license. Let's click create. Okay, that's great. So we can see somewhere down here, past all my demo data, we have Tom Blogs. So that's perfect. License ID 71. So let's go back into the evident proof platform. We'll go and look at our proof seals, and you can see 71. So let's dive into what this actually is. So each one of these is a proof seal, so some data that has been submitted to the platform, sealed by our application, and then stored on the private and public blockchain. So if we go and have a look, so let's talk through what all this means. So dispatch is essentially an API call into our platform. You have a timestamp aware. So here this is representing a local IP address, but this can be a geolocation or an IP address. Dispatch evidence. So you can see here PSU cross-reference. What does this mean? So primary service user cross-reference is a long way of saying this is effectively a reference key back to some source data. So it can be a key representing an actual row in your database, or it can be an ID of some description of an asset, or it can be some kind of compound key. And we help with this process, getting onboarded into the evident proof platform. A key for this particular bit of data. Okay, so we've got new license. Value, you can see here a JSON representation of the data from our line of business application. Now, this could be a single field, a single word, so some JSON structure like you see here, or the works of Shakespeare. We don't really care. What we care about is being able to prove your data immutably back to you. And how do we do that? Well, what we actually store on the Ethereum blockchain in our private chain is the seal of your data. So no matter how big your data, the seal always boils down to the same size. Effectively, when we generate a proof certificate, we are comparing your data along with the metadata to the seal. So if we then go and look at the receipt, so what is a receipt? Well, this is received when data is posted to the platform. So you can see it was the receipt was received successfully. This is returned on the API call, by the way. And you can see that there's a receipt ID associated. This receipt ID can be stored by the enterprise organization or individual in their source database if they so wish. And the receipt and the token, again, I won't go into tokenization in this video, but please feel free to ask, can then be used to generate a proof certificate. So you can see here I'm generating a proof certificate via the user interface here. There are other ways to generate a proof certificate programmatically. So let's generate a proof certificate. Effectively, what this has now done is gone off to the blockchain, retrieved our seal, checked it against the source data, and we can go and have a look. Okay, so we can see all of our original data from that we submitted to the platform. We can also see our receipt ID, and now we can see the certificate. So we have a certificate request, we have a time it was requested at, we have a number of tokens used to get this proof certificate, and we have a flag to say evidence is verified, and we have a transaction ID, which is the in this particular scenario is the proof required to show the seal and the associated metadata. So proof certificates are tailored to each organization, individual, or enterprise. They can include large amounts of data on transactions or basic small data. This is pieced together during the consultation process to onboard onto the Evident Proof platform. So that is the demo. So just to recap what we've been through, we've looked at the dashboard. We've talked about how one sends data to the Evident Proof platform. We have looked at an example application, the taxi license application. We've generated a taxi license. That data has been passed through programmatically to the Evident Proof platform. A seal has been generated. That seal has been stored on the private and the public blockchains. We have then requested from the platform a proof certificate, and we have received back a proof certificate that can be used in a court of law to prove the immutability and integrity of the data that has been stored on the platform. Okay, so that is the Evident Proof demo. We haven't done too badly. We're 2 minutes over time, so that's pretty good. Any questions, do reach out on Telegram. Thanks.